All right, so we're live. Okay. Okay, I'm using the live feature right now because I'm kind of cheating. I want to be able to do a quick video without going through all the other stuff. So this is the easy way to do it. So we're talking about live, or not live, but this is going to be kind of titled about how to hold profit when you're actually negotiating. And that's kind of one of those tricky things. I'm thinking about doing a series actually on specifically negotiating. And the reason I say that is so many people lose their profit either when they're selling or when they're buying because they're scared to negotiate. They're scared to take it to the edge. They're scared to just step out there and swing. And they don't have the confidence level in the price that they're either selling or paying for it. So a lot of this comes down to just pure experience, and that's one of the things that I want to get into today. So if you're selling a car, I'm just going to use rough numbers because who cares what the car is? It doesn't matter if it's 10,000 or whatever dollars. But just for argument's sake, I'm going to make it $1,000 vehicle. So you have a vehicle you have a vehicle for sale for $1,000. Let's pretend you have 200 in. I'm just being facetious, but let's pretend you have $200 in it. So you want to take this vehicle and you want to rock and roll. You want to make an $800 profit on a $200 car. Is that fair? Absolutely, it's fair. The money is made the second you buy the car, not the second you sell it. That's an absolute, that's a period. There's no questions. That's just how it works. So a lot of us get out here and we're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to put $1,500 on it and then I'm going to sell it for $1,000. Okay, and that theory, that does work. But you got to ask yourself first, how fast do you want to sell this vehicle? How fast do you want to turn the cash over? So, like in my particular instance, when I put a car for sale, I expect it to be gone in 24 hours. 48 starts pissing me off, and if it gets into a week, I think it's the plague. I don't want anything to do with it, period, in the story. I just think it's cursed. It's got whatever, something's wrong with it. I don't want nothing to do with it. But so what you got to do to start with is you have to give yourself sorry guys, somebody's calling in, but you got to give yourself a fair profit margin. Don't kill anybody. And now when they show up, they're going to say, hey, they're going to be expecting the dance, and this is an art form. It truly is. So in the dance, people think that you're going to get a car and you're going to get to negotiate it for less than what you have it for sale for, right? I mean, everybody watching is going to watch this video. Thousands of people a year from now will be like, yes, I expect to get a deal when I get a car. That's right. Because most people don't know how to build value. And what I say by that is if you will reinforce your price point when you're actually selling a car, then you will get all the money for it. And let me be an example. So I have $1,000 car, and I'm like, sir, ma'am, whoever I'm addressing, I understand that this is $1,000 car, and I can appreciate you wanting to buy it for $800 or $700 or, who knows how cheap they're trying to buy it. You can appreciate whatever they're doing because you honestly would much rather buy it for half the price too if it was you trying to buy it. But what you need to say is, I personally know this vehicle. This car is going to give you confidence that you're not going to get in another car at this price point. It's got, and then you need to build it up. Hey, this thing's got good tires. It's got an inspection. There's peace of mind that's coming with this. So even though it's $1,000, I did price it very fairly, and I priced it to sell, and I did. And then stick your hand out and say, sir, you can have it for the $1,000. And you know what? 9 out of 10 people are going to say, okay, boom, done. They're going to go ahead and do it. Some people will actually say, no, I'm going to have it for $800. Well, if you just justified why you need to have $1,000 and they can't justify why they need it for $800, guess what? It's going to be back in your favor. A lot of times, especially people that are new trying to do this stuff, what happens is they go to sell something and they're kind of nervous because they don't have the confidence of A, the vehicle's value, B, they're not used to doing this every day, so they don't have that confidence of being able to hold their numbers. But if you just learn a very simple, like all our women tell us, like all my girlfriend's wife, Jen, all the way down the line, from parents to you get older in life, The word no. We know what the word no means. And you can tell a client no, but you have to be able to do it with respect, and you have to show them why you're leaning that way. You can't just be like, no, kiss my butt. I don't want to. I'm not taking a deal. No, I want $1,000, pound sand. And you know what? You've just offended that guy, girl, whatever, and they're pissed off and they're leaving. But if you say, hey, listen, I appreciate you offering me less, but this is why I need more. Now you have a friend. Now you have somebody that'll step up and pay the money. I'm just saying, do what you want to do. Another thing, too, when you're negotiating on purchasing a car and vice versa, this is where knowledge comes to play. See, those people are going to have the mindset that their car is worth $1,000, and now it's us trying to buy it for less than what they want, right? So with this, I say knowledge is power. Once again, respectfully address them. Be like, hey, guys, I understand. I understand you want $1,000 for this, but let me explain to you why I don't feel like I can get $1,000 for it, or I'd feel comfortable paying $1,000 for it. And then, of course, you would go into your little bit of knowledge you got. I hope I'm back on here in a second. I think I lost my connection. I ain't sure. Who knows? But anyway, what you want to do is definitely just build a little value and trying to buy it cheaper. I mean, that's just how you do it. And then you can earn the right to ask for less. But if you are continuously berating someone and being like, hey, this car's a piece of junk, blah, 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 you're going to piss them off and you're not going to be able to buy the car for a good deal. People are always like, dude, how do you buy these cars so cheap? And it's simple. I know what I'm doing. I mean, I look at a car and I know its value. And I know what it's going to be when it's done. I know what it's worth now. And a lot of people aren't willing to put in a detail. They're not willing to have the tires changed. They're not willing to go get it inspected. You know, and all that stuff is time for you. But you have to be willing to tell them, hey, look, I'm willing to buy this car, but I'm not willing to pay you all of this profit for you doing nothing. Cars are only worth it. I give an analogy. If this was full of water, it's worth 50 cents. That's the manufacturer's who knows, $1. Let's just go with $1. This is worth $1. Just like the 6 million of the mass-produced vehicles we're talking about. They are worth what they're worth. It doesn't matter if I say, hey, look, guys, I like this bottle. I want you to pay $10 for it. It doesn't effing matter. This thing's worth $1, period. So, is it my job to pay $1 for this? If I'm going to resell it, I need to pay 20 cents for this or 30 cents for this because all I can get for it is $1. Same principle always applies on cars. Anyway, guys, I just figured I would touch base on that. I think I'm going to do an actual series on this. I kind of been playing around with it in my head and actually taking you through everything it takes to build value in the car as you're actually selling it. And vice versa, what it takes to build value in the buying a car cheaper. So we have it on both ends of the scale. One, how to hold the profit, and two, how to make the profit when you're buying the car. Those are the two biggest, that's your two biggest things you got. All right, so, okay, guys. I got some videos coming up on a Saab. God bless my soul. Anyway, Lord knows, I like Saabs. They're okay. I got one that's a little crazy today, but I'm going to go look at the manual working of the, whatever it is, the convertible top. I don't know. I think it's been, let's say, altered. But whatever. Anybody got any questions? I'll be glad to answer them. I'm going to give it about 30 seconds. I'm calling it out on the YouTube Live. She don't have to post this stuff or do whatever she does. I think people are able to watch it as we speak. I guess. I'm thinking we're being watched. But if not, and you're catching this at a later date when it's airing, that's fine too. Just keep in mind, profit works both ways. But you make your profit the day you buy it. So the day you sell it, you already know what it's worth. So whoever's coming up, you just need to build the value to it. All right, peace out from the car man. Pay attention to our playlist because this is where all these cool series, because I know this stuff's like all over the place. You're like, what the hell? But yeah, you'll look in there and you'll see groups and series of different things. It depends on what you're into. All right, guys. Oh wait, I got a couple questions. Hey, what's up, Andre? And how long you been doing this? Let's see. I started in 19. Oh my God, 89, 1989. I started in 1989. It was a different world back then, and but you know what? As different as it was back then, the principles they taught me in the 80s is the same principles that work today. You got to build value for what you're asking a profit for, and you've got to take away value from something that someone wants to make money on. That's just how the game's played. But yeah, all right. So I'm trying to think of anything else. I made some notes. That's what I'm looking at, guys, because you're like, what is he on crack? No, I'm actually just looking at some notes that I had made. But I think I kind of touched base on everything I'm looking at so far. And yeah. All right, so I'm off to make my videos out of my regular videos. Although I'm starting to like the live stuff. The live stuff is where it's at because all I got to do is push a button. How do you make sure the engine is okay when buying? Well, there's only two kind of engines. You've Ford dealership, 6 used car lots, very well qualified. Traveled the U.S. for Ford. I didn't catch the other. Hold on, I got to touch the little thing here. How are you making sure the engine is okay when buying? Well, the best way to do that is get you a scan. You need a scanner so you can monitor live data. Live data is going to tell you, number one, if the car's overheating. It's going to tell you if you've got a miss on one of the cylinders, generally speaking. It's going to let you monitor all the sensors and really give you a good idea. Plus, when you drive it, you're going to know you're going to have to drive it to feel the acceleration, make sure it's smooth, make sure your transmission's smooth. And I always drive them for about 15 or 20 minutes because after about 15 or 20 minutes, it's pretty hot. It's pretty hard to hide a leaking head gasket. And it also gives your scanner on live data time to start that fluctuate over 200. And when they start pegging past 200, I know we got issues. So that's kind of how I do the whole. That's how I do the whole. Is the engine? Of course, you got to do some physical investigations too. If there's anything like that, you put your hand on the valve cover. You're listening for tapping, any kind of crazy stuff. Have you been only flipping cars or have a dealership? Yes, I am now retired. Do you have a hold on, missed that one. Okay, yeah, I just answered that. Okay, do you work on cars yourself that you have to get ready to sell, or do they have other people do these things for you? Okay, so that's a pretty valid question. Me, because now all I do pretty much now is wholesale. Yeah, I pretty much do everything myself now because I don't want to do 10, 20 cars a week anymore. I'm just over that. I'm not chasing down auctions. I'm just over it. Too much time in life, and I'm not willing to put that much time into it. I mean, I'll do my 40 a week just like everybody else, but now I'm tired of chasing cars all over the countryside. I buy them locally, recondition them at my own speed, cut all the middlemen out, and flip them. That's what we do. Usually we wholesale, but every now and then we'll get into one that's like a, like a retail situation. But if I had to, when you're dealing with dealers, it's the same way. Dealers are lazy, generally speaking. I don't mean that derogatory. I mean like they'd rather buy 10 cars than one. So if you show up and your car is clean, it's running good, it's priced right, they'll pay you a few extra hundreds so they don't got to go look for it. That's just how that game works. And you'll find out if you want to start the retailing thing, that's a whole different ball game. It takes a whole lot of money, even though you could do it on a small scale. By the time you pay the feds and the insurance and it goes with it, then you have to have a pay for finance companies, and then you got to pay for a floor plan, then you got to go. Well, at the end of the day, if you're not in $40,000 a month, it ain't even worth your time. And when I say that's because if you to turn $40,000 a month, you'd probably need a good 20 cars. 20, 30 cars to try to turn over if you're turning over in 30 days or something like that. So by the time you take 30 cars, then you're counting on detailing 30 cars at $100 a pop. Then you're paying floor plan on 30 cars at $200 a pop. Then you're paying the auction $300 a pop. And before long, you're actually working just to say that you're a car dealer and you're not actually making money. It'd be the little sales guy, he's making some. Your detail guy makes some. The auction makes some. Everybody gets paid but you. So that's why I do respect the independent dealer, and you got to have some pretty good fortunate circumstances to be successful at it. Or be super small. You either do super small or a little bigger than small, a little bigger than average. And that's the way you make it. But no matter how big it is, you got to be hands-on, balls to the wall, just getting it done. Even me, when we had our dealerships and selling through, I mean, there's a whole lot to it. But I know y'all are not even thinking about that kind of stuff. But to answer your question, yeah, I do my stuff myself. I detail them, fix them, whatever. And of course, I buy them with that in mind too. So I don't buy them with the idea of I'm going to crawl in there and do a transmission, because I don't want to do it. So I'll buy one that just has a little something, something with it and roll on with it. And after time, you just get better at it. All right, I don't know. Did I lose my connection, guys? I think I might have lost my connection. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I will call it a day, and we'll see you on the flip side. All right, players, catch you on the next one.